More fun times featuring a hot Seattle wrestling crowd. I'm John Retton with my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Japan Strong Episode 78 from historic Washington Hall. More matches from the tapings that I attended about a month ago. I will be reviewing the next 2 episodes of New Japan Strong because they taped 12 matches, and since they showed 3 and 3 this week, we got 6 more to go. It's kind of how math works. So if you want to know how the atmosphere was as far as how it was, how this whole thing came to be, check out my review of episode 77 because I go a little bit more in depth about how long the day was and everything and how I got to spend a great few hours watching professional wrestling. Hard-working professional wrestlers put on a great goddamn show for about 4 hours with a great friend, Roxy. Fucking tremendous. Hot as hell, and really, really hilarious, and also a passionate wrestling fan. It's also great to see her get all enthusiastic, but in all seriousness, this was actually a whole lot of fun, even though I was up for about 20 hours by the time I got to sleep, because I worked earlier that day. So these matches they weren't a mixed bag necessarily watching them live, but I will say that watching them in person gave me more of an appreciation. Had I just seen these on their website, when I revisited them, I might have had a different view. I will say, however, that one particular crowd member decided to be a full-on dick during one of them and got shut down immediately. But we get Ian Riccaboni and Alex Kozlov welcoming us. Once again, I'm sorry, I can't help but hear Tommy Wiseau whenever I hear Alex Kozlov. I can't unhear it. Once I heard it, I can't, no matter how hard I try. It doesn't even matter how hard I try. So we get classic Cody Chung and Chun, I believe. Actually, I always screw it up. I think even sometimes the ring announcers do, but classic Cody, he's fucking great. I got the shirt from him at a Without a Cause show about 3 years ago. Great guy, talented as hell. He really has worked hard, and him being able to be in Washington Hall and, taking on Hikuleo, that was a big deal. He has appeared on Defy shows, Without a Cause shows, he was one of the guys that Miro ended up beating up on the stage during the pandemic era of AEW when he just beat a whole bunch of people up. I think it was towards the end of 2020, but it was really goddamn cool. And he, tremendous talent, really, really classically trained wrestler, hence the name Classic Cody. But he also just has this intangible charisma. You can't help but watch and want to see him succeed. And Hikuleo is fucking massive in person. My goodness. 6'9", legit. I mean, and his hair makes him 7'5". No, in all seriousness, I'm looking, I go, holy fucking shit. And I mean, my friend Roxy is a little bit taller than me. And I go, hey, that makes you feel short, doesn't he? But his chops on TV or on the New Japan shows or New Japan Strong or whatever, hearing them echo, oh boy, they echo really, really nicely in Washington Hall, which looks great on TV, I'll say that much. It's not necessarily the best venue, but it does have a great, hot, fiery crowd. But the chops echoed. Cody was way over, got, really good cheers. It was basically power versus agility. Even though Cody is a strong guy himself, Hikuleo obviously had the power edge. And at one point, Hikuleo hit a chop outside. I felt both of them in my feet. And I think we were about 10 feet away. It was just amazing. Cody ends up getting beat down a bit and then comes back and hits a nice slam, power slam to a pop, and hits a Cody cutter. Really, really good stuff. Close near fall. And then Hikuleo says, done now. Choke slam. 1, 2, 3. Just puts his foot on his chest. That was some good stuff. So that was actually a pretty, fun match with Cody being really over and Hikuleo just, shutting the crowd down and everything. And then we get Ren Narita versus Josh Barnett. Josh Barnett, the, Ballard native. He even cut a promo after this match and thanked the crowd. No thanks to one particular dick that decided to mock the fact that he couldn't really go anymore, not realizing that Josh Barnett could have stretched that guy 5 different ways in a minute, and that's if he got bored and just decided to let him have a few seconds to breathe. Josh Barnett, sure, he is in his mid-40s, and he's got a lot of mileage on his body, and I'm obviously not going to say he's the best that he's ever been, but his style is suited to where he can continue to do this kind of stuff for a number of years. UFC, New Japan, Bloodsport, he's done so many different styles, and he's really, really good. And it was more of a mat-based style where every time he, hit a maneuver, he would grab a hold. And Ren has really, really improved quite a bit. I mean, he faced Shibata. And, even before that was doing some good stuff. This is a match I'm sure that for those that maybe didn't attend it live, I would love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. What did you guys think of this? Because there were times where the crowd seemed a little bit quiet. That was also because of the placement on the card. See, they tape these things in sequence. Obviously, it'd be hard to not tape them in sequence. That's how tapings work. But then they hodgepodge them for tapings out of sequence. This was more towards the end of the taping. So as far as what I recall, it's been a month, so I don't remember the exact placement. But this was near the end of the taping, as I recall correctly. So the crowd was getting a little bit tired. But Narita did get a nice armbar at one point. And there was a nice exploder by Josh Barnett. But eventually, Barnett just said, fuck it, armbar. And just snapped it. Snapped it off and everything. And this was not on the broadcast, but he did cut a nice promo thanking the fans and everything. He wanted to wrestle in Washington Hall before he retired. Not saying that he was going to retire, but he seemed to indicate like he wanted to do something while his active career was still going on. And that was nice. And it was really, really cool, and it meant a lot to him, so this was nice to see. Then we get Finn Juice versus Jonah and Bad Dude Tito. Jonah is fucking massive in person, my goodness. He was also a great heel here. Finn Juice, they're a great tag team. Bad Dude Tito, he's not bad. He took some good bumps and was the guy that got bounced around for a bit. Jonah got tagged in. They kept preventing Juice from getting the tag. No, let's hear it for the Juice. But no, we can't hear it for the Juice because he keeps getting prevented from being tagged. And eventually, he's had enough. Jonah tags in Bad Dude Tito, and we get a double suplex. Oh, they're gonna suplex him. Oh no! And then Juice tackles Jonah. And the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, the surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Finlay gets the victory. It was out of nowhere. I was like, wow, that really, okay, devastating roll up out of nowhere. God, it's permeate everywhere in wrestling. This wasn't bad. It was fine. It was probably of the 3 matches, probably the weakest. It's nothing against anybody involved, but just the finish was so sudden. And it made sense that Bad Dude Tito was there to take the pin, who I think I've seen on a couple other shows. He's not bad. He's not bad, but the role was for him to be the one to take the pin to piss off Jonah. Jonah's all upset because he's trying to get Juice and trying to get David Finlay, who is very good, and they're a very good tag team to see, especially now. Next 2 tapings feature some pretty good stuff, and look forward to reviewing those. I'm not going to review New Japan Strong after that, at least not that often. If there's something really good on episode, I will. But I already review enough stuff from week to week to week, so I can only do so much. But this was another set of matches from a very, 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 great time that I had at the New Japan tapings. I will say that being front row was absolutely worth it, and it definitely needed to be worth it for $160 a pop per ticket. But you know what? It was worth it. It was worth it to stay up that long. It was worth it to see my friend happy. It was worth to see, somebody that I consider a very close friend happy. So, there we go. Next 2 episodes over the next couple weeks. Unless they just suddenly decide to drop them out of nowhere. Drop out of nowhere! Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.